You ready?
I am ready.
Okay, great. So am I. All right, here we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1. Coming up on TMS, that's a pillow.
Game of Thrones comes to the Bellagio.
Do not act out the butterfly effect.
What's with all these Garfield phones?
Such a cute pig. Let's eat him.
Making things with Bill.
I think I said pig, not pig. Pig. Jury duty and more on this episode of The Morning Stream.
The time is 6:20, and we now talk to a man whose recent invention will revolutionize our lives. He calls it the wheel. Later, we listen to a startling new theory of why apples fall to the ground.
How tough are you, new boy?
This is The Morning Stream. It's a rat turd.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TMS. It is The Morning Stream for Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. I'm Scott Johnson with Brian Ebbett.
Well, hello, Scott Johnson. How
Hi.
are you?
Did that echo for you right then? No?
A little bit, but I can live with it. I'm going to live with it. I can take it.
Eventually, we're going to get to the point where we don't hear Brian at all because...
I know. Exactly. It was like, you'll hear, anytime I get loud, you'll...
Yeah. We've had a couple of technical issues, nothing huge or major. As you can see, if you're watching the video version of this, I am a little tiny person. I look like I could fit two of me inside of Brian like a nesting doll.
Now, if I stand way back...
Yeah, if you're back there, then we're kind of... But then it's really weird because we have all of this noisy backdrop. You do, I do. It looks like one giant space. It's just horrendous. It's horrendous. Oh, well. Anyway, it's good to be here. Thanks for showing up, everyone. We're going to do a show for you. Whether you like it or not, that's what we're doing. Right?
That's right.
Can't avoid it.
Exactly right.
It's like bad traffic. You're just going to have to deal with it and get yourself downtown. All right, so a couple of things. First, I'm going to tell you a gross story. Do you want to hear something gross?
Of course.
Okay.
What better way to start a Tuesday than with a gross story? You kidding me?
This one's pretty gross, or at least I think it's kind of gross, but there's been something that's been with me my entire life, and I mean from day one, from the day I was born. Literally it popped out of my mom, was a little shriveled up alien baby.
Yeah.
There was a thing that I had that was with me until yesterday. Okay, and I don't just mean my body or my skin. I don't mean that. But let's get to the this is very interesting.
I'm guessing. Okay, I have a guess, but
you're probably right because I've talked about this on the show before as a thing that I couldn't get rid of, but now I got rid of it. So you may remember. Do you want to try to guess? You should try to guess.
Oh, you know what? No, because I was gonna guess like an Audi belly button that finally just shriveled up and fell off.
You are so close. It's almost weird how close you are.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So here's what happened. I don't know when I've told this story on the show. I thought I'd told this. Yes, it is kind of freaky, and I don't know why I'm telling it at all, to be honest. This is all way too personal. But when I was born, I think my doctor was an idiot because for some reason, I've never heard of this happening to anybody else I've ever talked to, but he left a chunk of my umbilical cord still in there. Like, they cut out. Okay, now that's true of most babies. Most babies, there's a little hanger on her bit that, you know, it takes a couple of weeks and then it falls off. Do you remember that?
Right,
with
after a couple of weeks, it shrivels up and just...
Yeah, it just falls off and you're good. And then people can go about their lives with a normal belly button. You see it if you're swimming, you know, you're at the pool and you're like, oh, look, that guy's got a normal-ass belly button right there.
I know that's one of the first things I do at any public swimming area is check out. All right, belly button, belly button, belly button, belly button. All right, we're all good. All good here. Everybody into the pool.
Yep. Everyone raise your hand if you got a decent normal belly button. So what I ran into was, or what I noticed at a very young age, and I mean very young age. I remember asking my mom about it, but I was probably 7 or 8 that I remember the first time asking about it. There's still a chunk of that umbilical cord that's still there. Now, you kind of had to dig in there a little bit to get to it, but it was still like this. It was like a flat, I'm trying to think of what a good comparison. Imagine like a flat hose that's being pushed flat and permanently flat, and it's just like a flat, or you know those actual flat hoses that some people used to put on their houses, where it was like a flat, almost like a, I mean, when water would go through it, it would expand, but it's flat in its flaccid state. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, like a right, or like a piece of penne pasta.
Yes.
That,
yes.
Creamy peen pasta.
Creamy peen pasta. There you go. So. So
People
that's
are asking if there's a Patreon level to stop this conversation.
No, there isn't. You're going to hear this. You have to hear it. So there was always this flat little thing, and the older I got, the more it calcified and became like hard as bone, but would never come out of there. It was just always there, and it was not obtrusive or didn't trap things or anything like that. It was just there.
Cut yourself on it if you were walking around shirtless. If your arm brushed against it, wouldn't.
No. But the kids would see it.
Skin.
When the kids were little, they're like, "Dad, what's that?" Like they'd see it, and I'm like, "Oh, well, that's just like leftover umbilical cord." What's an umbilical cord? You know, like it was those conversations.
Yeah.
So today, the chat room says I have my lower horn. No. Anyway, so here's what happens. This whole lifetime, I'm just like, well, I'm stuck with it, and it hurts if you try to do anything because it's part of me, right?
Yeah.
So I can't just like go in there with a wrench and yank it out or something. Ugh, that sounds awful.
Sure. No. Oh God, yes.
Because I feel like it would disembowel me or something. It's really this awful little, tender, painful little rock that that if I leave it alone, it's fine. But if I try to get it out of there, pry it out of there, it's always been bad. So.
And I was leaning over some of Kim's jambalaya.
She was canning peaches, and well, now I'll tell you what happened. No, so I yesterday, apropos of nothing, I'm in the shower, and out pops this 40-plus-year-old calcified thing that I've had forever, and it finally leaves. It finally says I'm done.
It's weird that it took 40 plus. Let's just say 50 years, Scott. Because come on, we're
49 years.
Like 3 months shy of 50 years, aren't we?
Are we? Hold on. When's July? Oh, I don't like to think about this. I don't like this at all. But yeah, no. Let's say 50. Let's round it up. 50 years that thing sat there and hardened, and was just this thing that was permanently a part of my life. I assumed I'd die with it. But yesterday, gone.
It's weird that it that whatever was holding it in for 50 years finally just gave out and said, "Meh, all right." It's like your arm. It's like you don't expect, all right, this arm totally connected, totally good, and then just one day falls right off.
Yeah,
like
because it did really feel attached in the same way. You're not wrong at that comparison.
If things are gonna fall off, they're gonna fall off in the first 50 miles. Is the deal. Like you're gonna drive it off the lot, and then the side view mirror is gonna fall off, and then he's like, okay, well that was gonna fall off at some point. Glad it fell off now.
Yeah.
But and have a car drive it around for 100,000 miles, and then all of a sudden, the hood ornament just goes.
Yeah. No, that's basically it. Like I'd gone the full lifespan. I mean, in any other era, I'd be dead of like leprosy or something.
Right, dysentery.
Yeah, and I just figured I would be born with that thing, and I would die with that thing, and it's gone. It's out. It's done.
Weird.
It's in fact, I lost track of it. It kind of fell down into the drain and went away. This is really gross, I know, but a part of me is now down there in the giant alligator land.
I was just saying, feeding the alligators in the sewers. Great. All right, cool.
So I don't know. Maybe this is common. Someone in the chat says there's a Redditor that just had this thing happen to them. There's
somebody on Reddit that has had everything happen to them.
That's true. They probably just make it up, but yeah. And I did yell that. I shot from Kim was in the other room. I went, "Honey!" She's like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, "It came off." Because if there's anyone who's seen that thing, it's her. You know what I mean? Hubba hubba, right?
Right. Yes.
So now that thing is my DNA.
That's a great thought for sexy times. Is, hey, look at my calcified belly button flap. Come here, honey. Give me a big wet kiss.
Yeah. So it's a gnarly bit of business. It's gone now. I don't have to think about it anymore. F that little piece of crap. I don't want anything to do with it again. But honestly, it was always kind of a thing that bugged me. Because if you're like sitting around watching TV and you just kind of brush your gut and just go, what scratch? Oh, that kind of hurts. Because this thing was always like a hard rock.
Well, there we go. That was one of the first things I asked, is if it's something that if you rubbed your arm against your shirtless stomach, would you get a little scratch from it?
Yeah, it would hurt. Like it would actually hurt. Not just the scratch from the other direction, but for whatever reason, the way it was always lodged in there just always kind of was tender, kind of always hurt. My whole entire life. So, chat room, thank you for indulging me. Brian, ditto.
Yeah. Hey, glad I could be here for you.
You bet.
I'm also going to move my input sensitivity to 60 decibels, and let's see if that...
Is that down or higher?
That's...
Did you go
up?
Up?
Technically it's down because it's going negative numbers, but...
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But it's going to the right on the little bar.
So let's see, hold on. Okay,
because I was hearing some more echo.
You get some more echo. Yeah, we're doing a little test today on the show, everybody. You won't know this, but, well, now you do, but in the background, Brian's doing some tweaking. I'm doing some tweaking. We're all tweaking.
Some fiddleage.
Yeah.
Fiddleage is what I'm doing.
Everybody's got to tweak once in a while. All right. Also, a quick note here. Although we don't have final contract, it's coming. And we're a little short on details.
I know. I know I've been saying this for a long time. Hoping for contract today, and then we can finally talk about stuff.
Yeah. We can't say this.
The only thing we're waiting.
We can say this. If you're coming to Viva TMS Vegas, and by the way, somebody yesterday broke their ankle and had to get a refund.
Oh, no.
So they can't come. So there's another ticket floating around out there if anyone's like, hey, I may still come to Vegas. Anyway, and there's other tickets. Not a lot, but there are tickets.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put it out there that Saturday night is what we've been cagey about.
Yeah.
But I need people to trust us that what Brian is arranging is going to be off the hook.
Yeah.
We just can't be uber specific. I mean, one way or the other, Saturday's going to be something cool. We know that. We just think that this one idea we have would be the coolest of all the cool possibilities, and it looks very likely, like we're basically 99% of the way there, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, they're preparing the dotted line right now for us to put our signature on. Basically, is what the deal is.
Yeah.
Everything else is just kind of gravy that we're organizing. There looks like there's going to be a lot of tabletop activity going on with this. So tabletop time, and then some TMS stuff, and then some bands, and a special appearance of Mr. Scott Fletcher, and of course Jury's going to be there, Tom's going to be there. So
let's just say our wives are all going to be there.
Our wives are all going to be there, correct?
Yes. I wonder what that could be.
And was there some other thing I was going to add? Oh, and if you drink, awesome.
Oh yeah, if you're drinkers, I mean, people here know I'm not a drinker, but I'm going to drink a lot of Coke from a certain bar because we just need to drink. Everyone needs to drink, okay?
Yes.
We'll say why later when this is all done.
You're not going to want to be thirsty through Saturday night.
Yeah. So just get in there and be like,
it
you know
helps
what?
us if you stay hydrated.
Yeah.
But not with hydration, but with alcohol and soft drinks.
Yeah. And if you're it's not an orgy for your Rangers. Bad idea. It's all, you know what? You could take everything we've said that way. Hey, our wives are going to be there. Wonder what that means.
Wives are going to be there. Hubba hubba. Scott's belly button flap will be gone, so he'll be untethered.
I mean, we can say that, so we can say this out loud. Saturday is the intended time, regardless of venue or what ends up happening, when we're going to do a live TMS and any other associated content like that. So that's a given. It's nothing weird, I swear. But if you like drinking, man, are you going to have a good time in that place? That's all I'll say.
Yeah, Saturday night's going to be live TMS, whether that is this venue that we're working on, or if we don't get that, we're going to be on Fremont Street, right between the topless nun and the guy who spray paints beautiful landscapes with a breather on. Right. and a 1/8-inch thick coat of paint on every piece of canvas that he's working on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all good in the hood. We're very excited to talk more about it, but it's going to be a bit, and today may be the day. So if you see a bunch of Twitter activity from us, and then tomorrow we'll talk about it and blah, blah, blah. And if not, we'll wait another day and see what happens then. It's fine.
Correct.
All right, Brian.
Yes. And you brought up the pillow, and it looks like you overwrote the pillow story. You're not going to tell the pillow story?
All right, I'll tell it. I did put it in the thing. So I just, when the belly button thing happened, I went, oh, I got to tell that. But there's always time for a good pillow story.
Yeah.
Rainer, my Jim Rainer, the female dog, my favorite dog I've ever had. I love this dog. I love this dog. I will not be, when this dog passes away, you're all going to have to send over help. I'm not going to be able to deal with it. And I know that's a long ways, it's 10 years away, but her and I, we've bonded in a way that I've never bonded with any dog I've ever owned. And she's great. However, well, a couple of important points. She's like your dogs, I'm sure. She's been neutered. Okay. Have your dogs been neutered?
Oh, absolutely. Dog now, Ruby.
Ruby.
We lost a few years ago, but Daisy's totally been neutered. She's actually laying on the floor right here behind me because Tina is out of town, and I'm second favorite.
So wait,
Tina's home,
is it spay or neuter from female dogs?
Oh, female dog spay. So yeah, she's been spayed.
Okay, she's been spayed. So I guess Rainer has been spayed, not neutered. They should just have one word for all that. It doesn't matter. Just like, can your dog reproduce? No. Okay, it's been doodled. Whatever. Anyway,
right. Just one. I don't know. I mean, we've got both hysterectomies and vasectomies. Well, we can have different words for our things too.
Yeah, dogectomies. That's a thing. Yeah.
Basically, we just had it Bob Barkered is probably the term that we should use. That's the new general term. Have you had your dog Bob Barkered? Yeah. Oh yeah, my dog's been Bob Barkered.
Bob Barkered. You said Bob Barkered like that?
Bob Barkered.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw him recently. I don't know if you've noticed this, but Bob Barker looks like one of those potato people from the Dark Crystal. He's got some stuff going on there that is natural aging things, I'm sure. But anyway, just looks
it's like basically once he left The Price is Right, all that slow aging that he did over the last 30 years just went.
Yeah, totally. He's the crypt keeper now. Anyway. So, someone's got to keep it. Anyway, so what was my point? Oh, so the dog, she's neutered. She doesn't have any, she can't reproduce. She shouldn't have any of those tendencies or whatever.
Sure.
She has the most rough, psycho sex with a pillow when no one's looking. And I mean, like, you can hear it in the other room because now we have all the flooring in.
Yeah.
And you can hear her little tiptoe feet on the floor with her nails going, and you're not sure what's going on out there. It sounds like she's fighting with the other dog or something like that's going on. Right. And I'll go look around the corner, and she is just mounted on top of this pillow, and it's just giving this pillow what for.
Going nuts.
Yeah, like hardcore. And the best part is, I think, is that when I go, Rainer, she seems embarrassed. Like I don't know if dogs feel embarrassment or not, or shame or whatever, but she'll like kick the pillow out beside of her and then go over there and kind of lay onto the side and then get all like laying on her back to have me pet her or something like that. As if she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. This is my can't help it.
Oh my gosh, you caught me.
But what I don't understand is why is that a thing? She's a female, so she doesn't have a mounty thing to do.
Right.
And and she's spayed. So what is happening? What is that?
Well, the spade wouldn't block natural tendencies. What's the word? Ingrained. Whatever the phrase is.
Instincts.
The instinctual. Right. Sure. There you go.
Okay.
But the fact that she's female, you usually don't see female dogs humping stuff.
No.
So maybe she's trying to rub her anal glands on the pillow like a dog that really scoots across the carpet. Does she do the scoots across the carpet?
No, she never does that. She's never done a scoot that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah,
all right.
It is weird.
I mean, come on. Who hasn't looked at a beautiful throw pillow on the couch and thought, you know what? I'd like to have sex with that.
Yeah.
Who here among us has never...
No, it's great though, because what I'll do is I'll put that pillow back, and then when Kim's mom comes over and sits next to it,
here, let me get you a pillow.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, that pillow goes on that side where you are. Let me just tuck that there, and you can just kind of relax and sit next to it. Yeah.
Just rub your face in that pillow.
Yeah. Just huff it in. Take a deep breath.
Jim's been trying a new Febreze. See, give it a good.
Yeah.
Good inhale.
Yeah. See what you think. Let us know how that is. Is what like I would say to Francis. So.
Is it if you move that pillow? Does she hump whatever pillow is in that location, or does she hump that pillow specifically if you move it to another spot?
She will hump any pillow that it just is not on that isn't too high up.
Any pillow, anytime.
I mean, it's always when someone's not in the room. That's the one consistency, and it can be any pillow. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so it's not. I was gonna say maybe it's something specific about that pillow that
she gets on that thing and just like looks like I don't know, like steroid. She's like a roided up.
Get this on film. Go on digital. Record this on your phone, Scott.
Okay, is that what you're saying? All right.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get out there with the phone, see what I can manage.
We need a new. We need video record. What's the equivalent? We can't say videotape it anymore, obviously, because there's no tape.
Well, you can say tape it, but you'd sound funny because you're saying it. But yes, I say tape all the time. Do you do that with like recordings and stuff?
Yeah, totally. What do we have taped?
Yeah, we're rolling tape, everybody. Mm-hmm. But really, all I'm saying is digital.
Places, everyone. Yeah. Tina, grab that pillow. Yeah. We're burning daylight, people. Come on.
That's right. So I don't know what's going on, but she's wacky, and she doesn't try to do it with the other dog. She doesn't try to do it with any other objects in the house. It's just cat. It's just just cats.
Pillows.
Just pillows. Yeah.
Just cats.
The cat, on the other hand, her and the cat still at odds. Do not like each other.
Really? Have not gotten that situation resolved. Interesting.
Nope. But Deckard and Boomer get along great. No problems. Mm-hmm. They hang out. They'll play. Boomer will like lightly pat her on the side of the head, and Cat will respond with the same thing, and no claws out. Like they're just kind of goof around with each other, and Boomer gets excited and kind of, happy barks and wags her tail and everything, but not Rainer. Rainer's like, as soon as she sees her across the house. In fact, every once in a while, just randomly, I'll probably hear it during the show today, you'll just suddenly hear this like sudden outburst of
scuffle.
And then suddenly feet are flying and there's stuff running across the house and the cat's running away from the dog, and I don't know.
Wow.
Don't know what's going on with that. She's got like wolf instinct stuff going on, I think. Rainer does.
Yeah.
When she calms down and snuggles with you, though, she's the greatest dog on the planet. And who cares if she humps a pillow now and again? What are you going to do?
Exactly.
All right.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Honestly, who cares? Right? No one cares.
Right, yeah.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Who's going to care? Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. All right, we're going to do this.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive, sensational summary of world and local events.
Hey. It's the news, and it's brought to you by...
For the last year, Cosmic Crit has been taking you on a sci-fi adventure through the worlds of the Starfinder RPG, and they're back with Season 2! Brand new characters, brand new enemies, a brand new journey starting from level 1. You can find out more and check out our first season at CosmicCrit.com on iTunes, Spotify, and everywhere podcasts are downloaded. Got bad.
Did it get really bad?
Got really bad.
What is that? That little microphone on your thing doesn't pick up sound, does it? On your headphones there?
I don't have a microphone. This is Spider-Man.
Oh, he's he's Spider-Man, of course.
He's Spider-Man.
What could I have known? How could I have known?
He's Spider-Man I got from Russia. Yeah. No way it contains a recording device.
So I'm guessing that it doesn't...
It's not possible.
It doesn't matter if you talk soft or quiet. It's a synced issue or something. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't get it because I should be getting it from your end.
I know.
But I don't.
I don't get it.
I
don't know.
I don't get it. Here, what if I do this? Hold on.
Okay.
We're going to try a little fun thing. Hey, guys, we're going to troubleshoot while we're on the show. This is good.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to set it. I'm going to set it
really high. Tell me when you got it set up, and I'll read the ad again, and that way it.
Okay, can you wait? You can't
it's
hear
me
me
talking for a few.
All right,
minutes.
now you. Okay, now you go ahead and talk now.
All right. For the last year, Cosmic Crit has been taking you on a sci-fi adventure through the worlds of the Starfinder RPG, and they're back with Season 2. Brand new characters, brand new enemies, a brand new journey starting from level 1. You can find out more and check out our first season at CosmicCrit.com or on iTunes, Spotify, and everywhere podcasts are downloaded.
Did you
Not
hear
a
your...
single echo.
Not a single
Zero
echo?
What have you done?
How about now? Nothing?
All right, the talking, testing. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Interesting.
No, nothing. Wow, what'd you do?
I turned on automatically determine input sensitivity, which I thought was going to be horrible, but that may have fixed it.
Wow.
All right, we'll give that a shot. We'll see how it goes. Hey, guys, look at the news. We got the news here. Brian, I got good Vegas news for you. Ready for this?
Yes. Is this about the lady who fell off the roller coaster at the Circus?
No, did this happen?
Yeah, it happened recently,
really?
last week.
That's not good, is it?
No, she didn't die or anything, but she's injured. But that nothing good ever happens at the Circus. Oh, getting echo.
Shut up, serious?
Yeah.
I thought we had it.
I thought so too, but no, there was a little bit.
Just a tiny bit, but not too bad?
Just a tiny bit. Bop. Bop.
Better than it was?
Better than it was. Let's say it's better than it was.
All right, we'll go that road.
Yeah.
See how this goes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hadn't heard about that. The lesson there is don't ride roller. Don't go to Circus.
No one from TMS Vegas was planning on going to Circus, so we're just fine.
Yeah. Forget about the freaking roller coaster. Everything about Circus is a nightmare.
Except apparently the steakhouse is one of the best in Vegas.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Really?
Yeah.
I had never heard that.
Yeah. It's like the Circus steakhouse. For some reason, that is like the diamond in the absolute rough. And maybe it's, it's because Circus is the place you go if you want to go on the cheap and you have children.
Yeah.
And maybe some of those children disappear, and that's what makes those steaks so tender and juicy.
Wow. I kind of want to try it. Not this trip, but some trip I want to try that. Just to see. Yeah. I want to prove it out, see if it's really as good as everyone says. That's crazy. I hate that place. It just makes me... It feels like a Stephen King novel just waiting to happen, that whole place.
Oh, it is. Like Pennywise is over there in the sun.
Oh, dude. With the camera on his face and only his body's moving. I don't like that. That is one of the most frightening visages of the last few years.
It really is.
Don't like it.
Is. By the way, what was the... it was Family Guy had a Giggity had... Quagmire doing an It thing on this last
really?
episode.
I haven't seen Family Guy in a long time. They're still making new ones, I guess.
Still making new ones.
All right. Peter. Every once in a while, we were watching The Marvelous Miss Maisel, Kim is, and
and every once in a while, Alex Borstein sounds like Lois Griffin.
Lois, yeah, she'll do like a heightened version of that voice, and I'll just go, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. That would be like Dan Castellaneta or whatever his name is doing Homer for no reason. Like, you take me out
Hank
of it.
Azaria.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Someone clipped you dancing. Fantastic.
Great.
Actually, let's see what that looks like, because we may want to make a GIF out of that later. Let's see how this looks.
Of course you will.
Yeah, checking it out. Oh, yeah. We're totally going to make a GIF out of that. That's awesome. That's good.
Totally fine.
Well done.
Whatever.
Anyway, so here's the deal. Bellagio is getting a fountain treatment from Game of Thrones. Winter is here in Las Vegas. Last season of Game of Thrones is nearly upon us. Comes out on April 14th, but the Bellagio's famous fountains are already feeling the heat. The Hotel Casino debuted a dramatic new water show Sunday evening that projects scenes from the fantasy drama onto the fountains and erupts in fire. I actually kind of want to see it.
I like the idea of the fountains doing the thing and then the music going on.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about them projecting stuff onto the fountains.
Onto the water.
I have to see it on the water, because that, it's like saying, it's like what they did to the New York roller coaster. Like, oh, all right, this is a pretty cool roller coaster. It's got some dips and turns and a loop-de-loop. It's all right, cool. Oh, you know what we need? Let's add VR to it, so you're wearing a VR cam while you're riding it.
Yeah, that's kind of a good point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at that. Somebody's got video of it. There's
the site, the news site we got this from has some video. Let's see if we can play a bit of this and see.
Okay.
Oh, I see what they've done.
Oh, all right. It might be This is pretty damn cool. I might be on board with this.
Well,
Look at that. Look at the snow coming down on the...
Yeah, and it's a little more silhouette-y.
Yeah.
The dragon is a big silhouette. The snow bit is pretty neat. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, the snow bit is really cool.
Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that dragon. Wow.
Oh, I haven't even gotten to the dragon part yet.
Okay. It's more stylistic than I thought. It's not the same as just here's a scene from the show. I think that's cool.
That's pretty damn cool. All right, I'm on board with this.
Yeah, I might need to see this. Wow, look at that. How do they do that?
Yeah.
Okay, there's more to this than just... Yeah, that's cool. Okay. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what the crowds are like, because I always kind of hate that over there. It gets really congested right there, but
yeah.
I think I would enjoy it. All right.
Well, we're going to be really close on Thursday night because of Luxor, so...
True that.
And Thursday night won't be as busy as Friday and Saturday night, so maybe a pre-overpants or post-overpants trip down to the Bellagio to watch the fountains.
Might have to be post for darkness, right? Because it'll still be pretty light.
Right. Because it'll still be light at like 7 o'clock.
Yeah. How late do they run that thing, though? I don't even know.
They go till midnight.
Oh, okay. So we can probably see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's that.
Cool. All right.
Somebody called a LA-based company Wet Design created and installed this new technology that sends flames soaring skyward from beneath the surface of the water.
Yeah, Wet Design is. I mean, they're the ones who also did the fountains originally, and they've developed software that does this whole thing. I'm trying to think. I know they've done something in Dubai, and there was some other cool water feature somewhere that they were involved in. Is it the water things at Epcot where it's like the water looks like it's jumping from places?
Oh, maybe. Oh, that'd be a perfect place for them to get a gig, right? A Disney park or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the music was specifically composed and arranged for this attraction by Ramin Djawadi, who is the dude what does the Game of Thrones soundtrack. So.
Oh wow! So it's not even like, all right, we're just taking the soundtrack, the existing soundtrack, and shoehorning into this. They're like, this is a new thing.
So it seems legit across the board there.
Ooh, yeah. That's cool.
We're probably going to see this. I think that's what'll happen.
Yeah, I think so. Still want to do that Star Wars VR thing at Venetian too.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that's a thing there. That is a thing.
Yeah.
Bring your wipes, everybody. Bring your wet wipes.
Your Purell and your disinfecting wipes.
They probably do a good job of it there. I don't know.
I think so.
Plus, there's a big Utah connection. That's the people over here at the What's it called?
The code. The gap.
Dungeon. The dungeon. The gap in the dungeon.
Something.
Horse bucket. Garambe. I don't know what it is.
Does that actually help you, by the way? Like, if you're
void.
trying to remember something.
The void. Yeah, sometimes it does, but not always.
Really? Okay. All right.
Sometimes it's just... sometimes it just takes me to a weird place. All right. The drama... this is kind of a harrowing story.
That is a great show title. Horse Bucket Garambe.
Well,
I don't even know what that is. Yes.
The Sarge has already posted his title, which people will probably vote on.
No, Jackalope Ashley got in that one.
No. Oh, well done. A little slow, Sarge. Slow on the trigger finger there, buddy.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
All right. Here's a story that could have ended much worse, and had it, I probably wouldn't even tell it, but I'm going to tell it because they're recovering fine and they're going to be just great. But anyway, this is just nuts, and it has a film set connection. A drama student stabbed 2 classmates while acting out a scene from Ashton Kutcher's movie The Butterfly Effect. Boy, he may have some issues, I think, this kid.
No kidding. And here's the scary thing. Have not thought about this movie until just recently we watched it for Film Sack. Like, nobody's thought about this movie for the last 14 years.
No, nobody does except us, because we had to watch it. Whoa. Oh my gosh, now the butterfly wings are broken. Drama student at the University of Hartford in Hartford, Connecticut, has been charged with stabbing 2 fellow students while they were rehearsing a scene from the movie Butterfly Effect from 2004. As part of the group project, Jake Washer, age 21, of San Diego, California, was tasked with acting out a scene from the Butterfly Effect with 2 of his male peers, according to police. He stabbed them both in the chest and back One of the students, 19, was critically wounded. The other 21 was seriously wounded and is expected to survive in both cases. The incident occurred at the 21-year-old victim's on-campus apartment. Oh, why isn't whatever.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't know why they're rehearsing. They're rehearsing for class in his apartment, I guess. But
Okay.
anyway, he says he was acting out a scene from the movie in which the person or persons get stabbed, at which point he began to stab both victims before fleeing on foot. Remind me.
This guy's too method.
What was the scene where people got stabbed?
I'm trying to think. Is it when the kid was burning the dog and what's his face comes up and stabs him?
Yes. Yes. The kid from he took a car part or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's got to be it. Anyway,
Jeez.
he was apprehended 2 hours after the stabbing. Hartford police on campus spotted a man who fit the student's description. When he saw the officer, he fled on foot into the woods, but surrendered after more officers arrived. He's lucky he didn't. He's just going to get attempted murder, which is no good, and you'll probably go to jail for that. But it's a good thing these people didn't die.
The weird thing is that it was the drama teacher tasking these kids with doing a scene from The Butterfly Effect.
Yeah,
It's such a weird choice. Like, not, if Beale Street could talk, or Green Book, or
or anything like
reenact the scene.
Yeah.
Reenact the bomb in the mailbox scene from The Butterfly Effect, please.
Why not something Shakespeare? Why not
Right.
something else? This is just dumb.
Yeah. All right, Bill, you're going to do something from Dude, Where's My Car? You're going to do something from Encino Man. You guys have...
That's really weird.
Weird.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
weird
really weird
choice.
choice.
That the teacher must have a thing for that movie, but it's not a great movie. It's
Yeah.
kind of bad. So
Yeah, it is. It is.
So I don't know why they would choose that. Ri-Fi says, creative shaming from Coverville. Yeah.
Because I'm shaming their choice of Butterfly Effect. I'll take that. I'll happily
you know what?
say, yeah.
I'll take it too. I'm with you. I'll camp in that campground with Brian.
Right, exactly. Shame.
Here's a weird story. Finally, we got some explanation for it. This is a little like losing your belly button finally. For decades, Garfield telephones, Garfield the cat.
Yeah.
You familiar with his work?
Yeah, I'm familiar with his work and his dislike of Mondays and his love of lasagna.
Lasagna, tripping up Odie, and
Yes.
John just...
And making life hard for John.
There you go.
In his dating life.
Yep. And then selling out in every way possible that a cartoonist could sell out.
And inspiring Heathcliff.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank goodness. Somebody inspired. Or did it go the other way? I don't know who came first. Was Heathcliff before Garfield or after?
I think Heathcliff was after Garfield, but I could be wrong.
First, Heath, Cliff, or Garfield. All right, this will be a fun little experiment.
Okay. All right.
Who was first? Oh, here it is. On answers.com, which has always been effective for us to read.
Mm-hmm.
Heathcliff came first, debuting September 3rd, 1973. Garfield debuted June 19th of 78, so like 4 years later, 3 years later. 5 years later? Whatever it is.
5 years later. Jackalope Ashley is in the chat room reciting Kate Bush lyrics from Wuthering Heights because of Heathcliff.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm glad she's here.
It's me, I'm Kathy, I'm come home now. So cold, let me into your window. That's all I got. That's all I got.
It's all you need.
It's all I need, exactly.
Yeah. Well, anyway, these things keep showing up. For decades, these telephones, branded Garfield telephones, kept washing ashore on France. So somewhere in the French ocean side, these phones just washing up on shore. And it's decades long, 30 years this has been happening.
Weird, okay.
And it's been a mystery. Nobody knew what was going on, but now they've got it solved. Yeah. Garfield phones and pieces of them kept washing up ashore on the beaches of northwestern France, and no one quite knew why. The mystery would be a puzzle for locals for years. His plastic body parts, first appearing in a crevice at the Brittany coast in the mid-'80s, kept returning no matter how many times beach cleaners recovered them. It says here, I'm going to skip ahead because that's all just a bunch of fluff.
I'm guessing. My guess is, and it's not in this part of the article that you copied and pasted, but that it's like the E.T. Atari games where they made way more Garfield phones than then they could sell, and they just needed to like
slowly get rid of
throw
them
in like a landfill or something.
Yeah, well, you can't chuck them too fast. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at video of this. This is legit. Like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Oh, just like the
imagery. There's so many of these phones.
Wow.
Okay, here we go. I'm trying to find this story really doesn't want to tell me the solution. Okay, telephone is known. Entire catalog of ubiquitous options. Filming discovery. Group of journalists found out. So what's the answer? Remainder of the shipping container. Oh, okay. A big shipping container. Yeah, that fell off of one of the barges. Got jammed up and then slowly leaked phones for 30 years. So it like the Garfield phone shipping container fell off the shipping boat. Yeah.
And then from just underwater, these things have just been like floating out.
Yeah, probably slowly corroding the metal of the container. And then a couple of phones bloop bloop fall out and then washed onto shore. Oh yeah, the rubber duck story is similar to that. That's true, chat room. I forgot about that.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, if you looked at that imagery, that is just crazy. Also, who wants a Garfield phone? No one.
Well, nobody.
Especially not these.
Because it's like you're ripping out his spine, Mortal Kombat style, and talking on it.
Yeah. Oh, look. Yeah, you're right. It comes right out of his back.
Yeah.
Finish him. Get over here. Dial 911. All right.
I really don't like Mondays.
Final story: a pit pig got loose in Antarctica. Where's Arctica? Arctica is in. It's not
Arcata.
Arcata. Sorry. Arcata. Probably Arcata. This is in. What's Lost Coast?
I don't know.
I don't know where this is. Anyway, a pig got loose in Arcata. Arcata. Anyway, hours later, they killed it and ate it. A local family is just devastated after their pet pig, Princess. I hate that name for a pig. Anyway, got
Princess
loose.
Pig, sure.
You can't put lipstick on a pig. How's the old? What's that? That's the phrase, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And was killed for meat by an opportunistic community member. Now that person could be facing charges. She's very sweet, says Princess's owner, Carrie Hogan. She told the Outpost, wherever the hell that is. Still referring to the animal in the present tense. She's not aggressive. She likes to be around people. Well, she used to. Last Saturday morning, Princess, a near 400-pound Hampshire cross pig. It's a big old frickin' pig.
It's a big pig.
Big pig. Zoe in here? You know what's up. Bacon.
So DFH Band is actually from the chat room, actually lives there. And this is in let's see, very northern California.
Okay. Right up next to the Canada.
To the Oregon border.
Oh, okay, by Oregon. Or no, why am I saying Canada? That's stupid.
Yeah, there's a little bit of stuff between there's a whole Daryl and a
there's a whole Saskatchewan between there
and a bunch of donut stores between Northern California and Canada.
Sounds like the best way to go, though, if you're going to go up there.
Yeah.
Anyway, they ate it, and now everyone's mad. They slaughtered and cut her up and ate her for meat. But it turns out you're not supposed to do that unless it's a pig from a proper hunting license type thing.
Right.
And this is just them going, ooh, look, a pig, free meat. And
a pig, let's cut it up and cook it. That's horrible.
It is horrible in every way. Yeah. I'll tell you what's not horrible. Taking a music break while we get ready to bring Bill and then Jury in here. And we're going to do that now with a song prepared for and brought by Brian Ibbett. Brian, what'd you bring?
Yes, we're going to go to back up to Canada to a town called Barrie, and I don't know where Barrie is. Barrie. But it's a band called Cousin Jack, and if you go to Cousin Jack the Band, you'll find their website, cousinjacktheband.com. They are bluesy rhythm folk combined with arena rock. An even split between the Chili Peppers and the Tragically Hip, and I can totally hear it. It's in Ontario. Okay, Barrie, Ontario.
There you
go. Barrie, Ontario. Barrie. Hi, everybody. I'm Barrie, Ontario. Their brand new album is their self-titled debut album. This is great stuff, and the song we're playing is called The Keys. Here is Cousin Jack.
I was amazed to see Bill Giles with a wooden pointer. Here was Bill Giles with a new, yes, new wooden pointer. What's wrong with using their fingers like they used to?
The morning stream. I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
I'm having a little too much fun there.
Was the that clip right there from Nightmare on Elm Street? That's when Freddy Krueger sticks his tongue out through the receiver.
I wish.
Was that a Garfield phone on the wall?
No, I think it was just a crappy '80s phone. But if you've never seen that movie and that scene, it's worth seeing just to see a tongue come out of a phone.
Yeah.
And do this.
I'm your boyfriend now.
Yeah, I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. Whoops. That's a good fart sound. All right. Hey, welcome back. We're back, and we're all here still. We're doing it, and I got to get Bill in. Let's see here. Let's get Bill.
Bill's also going to point out that he's between Canada and California.
Yeah, there's a Bill in the way. Hey, by the way, how's your echo since we messed around?
It's been hit and miss, and now it's like every once in a while your audio cuts out and flickers and stuff like that. So
that's fun. That's a great time.
It's sucky life.
Yeah, it's a bad life we're living. All right,
it's a hard knock life
for us, for TMS. All right, I wanted to play a Bill intro. Hold on, I got one. Here you go.
Hey everybody, make way for Willie.
Make way for Willie indeed. It's Bill Duran all the way from Seattle, Washington, and punishprops.com. Bill, welcome to the show.
Yes, classic.
Yeah.
I wasn't here last week. I was in Florida, sitting next to a pool, listening to a book, eating sunflower seeds.
Nice.
Which was great.
You don't hear echo when you talk, do you? Or do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah. I don't know why that. We got to figure this out. Hey, well, all right, Bill. It's good to have you here. I know you were in Florida having a good time, but you're back home now and back to making things. Your name keeps coming up in weird conversations with me. It's something I just wanted to tell you about. I don't know why, but I've had multiple conversations.
In weird conversations?
Yeah. Depending on the conversation.
All in good ones. Everybody wants to know, how did Bill learn all this? Or where do I find more stuff? Like those kinds of conversations. And so I doubt you've had a jump in views on your videos or anything from my conversations with people. But two of them were like physical, like people I just know in the neighborhood who had heard about your stuff through other means. And then said, awesome. Don't you know him? Yeah, I do know him. Oh, you got to tell me where I can get more. He's so cool. I love his stuff. So good job, Bill. You've spread your wings a little further here in Salt Lake Valley. Yeah. Nice job.
Good news. We've just recently published our 666th video.
Ooh.
That's a lot.
So if your neighbors are hungry, we got lots of videos for them.
Yeah. My mother-in-law always said that Satan is all over YouTube, but apparently it's true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, now that you're home, what are you digging into this week that we can take a look at?
Well, we just put up a video playing with a material called foam clay. Our buddy Steven over at SKS Props brought some over just to kind of tinker with and try out some different techniques. Steve actually sells this stuff now at sksprops.com along with some other really great foam stuff if you're looking to get into that. The foam clay specifically, though, is kind of taking our scene by storm. It comes in a jar, and it's kind of like it kind of feels like silly putty. It's pliable and elastic, but you can sculpt with it. And then you let it dry, and it dries, and it feels a lot like EVA foam. It's not the same stuff, but it's got a lot of the same properties. However, it doesn't come in a sheet. You can actually sculpt it before you do any further work on it, which is really cool.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. It's air drying. It's non-toxic, so you don't have to worry about mixing it with stuff. You just pull it out of the thing and just start playing with it and sculpting with it.
And this is Steven...
SKSprops.com.
There he is. Okay.
Yeah.
He wears a hat backwards in a pretty cool way. I think I respect
He
that.
sure does. He rocks it, that guy.
Yeah. Looks all right.
Yeah. So we got to play with it a bunch. We just tinkered and tried to figure out what we would use it for ourselves. But I know like the community is just going nuts and experimenting like crazy for it. But we did some hand sculpting, which is really not mine. I'm not great at hand sculpting, but give it a try.
Sure.
You can use it to make lightweight prosthetics. So we made some little horns, like little
devil
of the beast, devil horns.
Devil horns, sure. Why not?
Yeah, but it's foam, so it's a lot of it is air. It's nice and lightweight. So we put a little spirit gum on that. You can just stick it on your face. Huh. You've got horns, and they won't fall off because they're nice and lightweight.
And these, do you bake them? Do they set? Like, how do you get them to?
Yeah, how do you cure them?
Yeah,
you just leave them out to dry.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it may take a while to fully dry. If you make a big lump of it, then it's going to take days to dry.
Right.
But that all depends on what you plan on doing with it. And
can you hurry? You can't hurry it up by like baking it or putting it in a hot environment or under this light or something.
You probably could. It already shrinks a bit when it dries. I'm gonna guess if you put it in an oven or a warm box to help it dry faster, it will likely shrink more.
Yeah.
Just depends on what you need it for and whether or not that dimensional stability is important to you or not.
Did you?
But that might be a good experiment.
Did you taste it?
No.
I'm
trying to remember if I did or not. I don't think I did.
Okay. I mean, do you make an effort to taste the products that you use and make and fiddle with? Or?
I mean, I at least like to smell it.
Okay. All right. No, that's cool. I mean, I'm just always curious about this stuff.
It is not toxic.
Yeah. Oh, really? So you could just like put a mouthful in there and you'd be all right.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay. Maybe not.
Just because it's toxic doesn't mean I want it passing through me.
How well does it hold its shape if you've got like a, let's say you mold it into like kind of a rainbow arch kind of shape? Is it light enough that it'll keep that shape while it dries, or will it slowly start to fall?
It depends. You may want to put some sort of armature in there, like aluminum wire is really good for that. Or if you have something really big to sculpt, I would actually build a base form out of a sheet of EVA foam, which is much more rigid. In fact, I did some stuff like that. I made like a domino mask out of EVA foam sheets, and then I pressed clay on it and sculpted details into it. And the foam clay did bond. It did seem to adhere really well to the EVA foam.
Huh.
Which is a much more cost-effective way anyway. If you're going to build something large, I wouldn't sculpt the whole thing out of this clay. I would do the base form out of sheets of foam or floor mats, something cheap and rigid, and then sculpt your detail on top of it.
Well, explain this to me. Is this just water he's using to create the, what's the word I'm looking for? The kind of texture to this horn?
Yeah, the water helps make the surface a little more slick.
Yeah.
It's pretty elastic stuff, so if you're using tools, it may want to pull a little bit.
Yeah.
So the water helps sort of lubricate the surface a bit, so you can go in there and smooth it if you want, or add texture. You can do all sorts of stuff.
This seems rad.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I didn't think anything like this existed.
Yeah, it's new. I'm not sure what it was used for in the past, but as cosplayers, we get our hands on a thing. We're like, this is ours now. We're going to do all sorts of cool stuff with it.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right. You'd also be happy to know, Carter, my daughter went out and bought a huge chunk of Sculpey style clay. Mm-hmm. It may have actually be that brand. I don't know. But there's
Sculpey?
a pile of Sculpey. I mean, what did I say? Sculpey? I think I always put a T in there.
Sculpey.
There's a giant pile of it over there. I don't know what she's making. There's some giant mound. Maybe she's making a Close Encounters of the Third Kind potato sculpture.
This means something.
This means Brian does the best. No one I know can talk like him but you. Do it again. Give me a little what's his name?
This means something, Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
This is Richard Dreyfuss.
It's really strong.
Sylvester.
It's really strong. I like it. Anyway, but I thought you'd appreciate that because
I would. Yeah.
I don't know what she's going to make, but she's clearly in the mood, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was inspired by something she saw you do.
Awesome.
We'll go watch that video. Available now, punishprops.com, of course, and over on the video channel.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else going on this week you want to leave us with?
Certainly. I have a video recommendation, not necessarily a maker per se, but let's say a filmmaker. So this is Drew Scanlon, formerly of Giant Bomb fame.
Yeah, Drew's
started
awesome.
his own thing called Cloth Map, and he's traveling around the world to look at culture through the lens of gaming. And the video I just linked is called Brazil's Video Game Gray Markets. So around here, we can just go to GameStop, well, at least for now, and buy whatever video game we want on planet Earth. But in Brazil, it's very different, based on where they are in the world and laws they have regarding importing video games or lots of other things. It's fascinating to see what gamers have done in Brazil to continue playing video games with one another. It's really amazing.
Yeah, I'd heard about this recently. I really like Scanlon's work generally, but this is of particular interest to me. For those who are like, hey, he looks familiar, he's also the meme face that was so popular for a while, where he's the white guy going, like
Blinking
that.
Man.
Blinking Man, yeah. He's became a gigantic meme for a while, but
right. Yes.
He was interviewed on the news for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was so big.
However,
thoughtful, like the thoughtful.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. Is this so? This is a whole series he's doing, not just Brazil, but this is just one of them.
He did a bunch of stuff in Brazil. This one in particular was really, really good. Filmed by Joey Famili of Tested fame, so he went down there with him to film.
Yeah.
And I think it's just some really, really great documentary filmmaking and really, really amazing topic too.
Yeah, it's a great look at it's stuff we don't think about here. I mean, we just go to a GameStop or download it on Steam, or we're used to all our convenient ways of doing it, and it's not the same
Think about
anymore.
it. What if there was no Steam?
Yeah.
Like, I'll just go to their website. Oh, you can't do that either.
Yeah.
Where do I get video games? It's like, you got to go talk to a dude.
Yeah.
Who's kind of shady about buying a video game console that you think maybe fell off a truck.
Right.
It's all shady.
It's that kind of thing. Yeah.
There's no non-shady part of this transaction. But it's pretty cool. All right, well, do check that out. It's called I always forget the name. Cloth Mapping, right?
Cloth Map and Brazil's video game gray markets.
Yeah, and the Cloth Map referring to, like, every time you'd buy a cool PC game in the 90s, oftentimes, like an RPG, it would come with a big cloth map.
Yeah,
which is that true. Reference there. And
the first two places you have to visit, right? Up in the corners, so you can put a pin in those so that the map stays on the wall.
You are correct, sir. You're absolutely correct. Well
also, do you have any WD-40?
Well, Bill, it's been a hell of a time, and we wish you luck with not just your chair, but you in general. You're the best, and we'll see you next time. Oh, Chinbeard on Twitter, punishprops.com, all that stuff, everybody.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, that was a really loud chair, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Obviously, that's not where he does most of his audio work. Otherwise, that would be resolved.
No, of course.
Yes. That's
Um,
just the way he operates.
That's the way he rolls. Let's get a little jury time going here. Check
These
this
are their
out.
stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Justin Robert Young the First. All the way from where are you? You're in Oakland. Hello, hi, and welcome.
Hi. How are you?
Good. You sound
Hello.
great today, boy. No
sound good.
Yeah, no issues, no echo, no nothing. You sound
Well,
great.
that's good. What a refreshing change of pace.
What? You don't like the first 10 minutes of your segment to be filled with like troubleshooting? You don't.
No, it's always such a great thing to start the day to believe you have everything prepared, walk into the door, and immediately have 10 minutes of all your friends laughing at you.
It's a good time.
You know, it
Works
just
for
is
everybody else.
just alternating mockery and incompetence.
Yeah.
Like that's
we
always
mock
the
because
best
we
way.
love, Jerry.
Yeah,
we
'cause
mock
that's-
because we love.
Oh, that's always what you think, right? That's always what you're in your head saying, "Wow, how loved am I?
Yeah.
What a loving moment."
Love Actually is what this is.
That's what. Yeah, well, I mean, 'cause that's what you do with like your kids, right?
Yeah.
You just mock them
Yeah.
relentlessly when they're young, just so they know they're loved.
Yeah, I watched when the girls turned like
Are you saying
12.
I shouldn't have done that?
Yeah, when the girls turned 12, I'd walk by their room and go, "You have to wear a bra now," and then slam the door shut. Or when Nick, when Nick got his driver's license, don't run over any old people. And then I'd slam the door shut. So I totally know what you mean. I totally
There we
know.
go. Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you here, and it's a problem-free moment for us, and this is great. Justin Robert Young, of course, comes on Tuesdays. We talk about a variety of topics, often politically motivated, not motivated, related is the word I meant.
Inclined.
Yes. Yeah. Today, we're going to talk about the guy everyone thought would be the one to beat, and may still be, I don't know, but Joe Biden, who did he ever officially enter the race, or was it always?
He has not yet. No,
oh,
he
I
has
thought
not.
he did. He didn't.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No. He mistakenly listed himself among the candidates in fairly traditional Biden form before he has formally announced. The rumor is it's around Easter is when he wants to do it.
Okay.
Which it doesn't. I think he's in a power position right now. He is polling ahead of everybody else. He can't raise money in the way that he can once he announces, but I don't think he's going to have a problem doing that. So at this point, like, why get into the race and commit yourself to being on the road? Because as soon as you announce an exploratory committee, if you're not on the road, it's a story that you're not on the road.
Right.
So he can not announce, be in first place, and just kind of sit on the sidelines. But it seems like no matter how much he wants to be apart from things, the race wants to pull him in, and that was the story this weekend.
Do you? Okay, well, the bigger story, though, is, or I don't know if it's the bigger story. The other part of this story is that all kinds of photos and videos are surfacing of his time in public arenas where he's very affectionate with people, very touchy with them. So
yeah,
a lady in front of him at a conference, he's got his hands on her shoulders. A little kid there for some kind of award, and he's reaching down and kissing them on the forehead and touching their face. That sort of stuff. And then I guess there's a lady who's on Bernie Sanders' re-election committee or something to that effect, or his super PAC, something, who came forward and said she felt like him kissing her hand once was this really unwanted thing that somebody did to him, and all of that.
Wait, hold on. The big story was Lucy Flores, who was running for lieutenant governor in Nevada in 2014, was doing an event with Joe Biden. They were waiting in line of announcement to go up on stage for this rally, and Biden leaned in, sniffed her hair, and then kissed her on the back of the head.
Oh, I got it wrong then. That's what they did. I thought it was her hand, not her head.
No,
okay.
No, her head. Her
right.
head. Yeah.
Like a little bend over, sniff the hair, and then kiss the head for some strange reason.
Yeah.
The second one was a woman in Connecticut who says that he leaned in inappropriate, like in a way that made her think he was trying to kiss her on the lips, and then gave a non-consensual Eskimo kiss.
Wait, that's just a nose thing? Like
I thought that was nose rubbing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
wow.
It was a non-consensual Eskimo kiss, which is like my favorite phrase.
Yes, non-consensual.
Why I love politics is that I get to say the phrase non-consensual Eskimo kiss.
Yeah.
Do we have to call it Intuit kiss or Inuit
Intuit
kisses now?
Yeah.
No. They're not a sponsor. Intuit.
Yeah. The doctor. What was the Dr. Watson? No, Dr. What was it?
No, what was it? It was
Sherlock Holmes.
No. It was Intuit's Dr. something, and you would
Dr. Nick.
No.
Hi, everybody.
No, it's not Dr. Nick. Dang it, it's gonna bug. Oh, Norton. That's
Norton
it. Norton
antivirus.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Norton.
Scott Norton.
There's no doctor. I don't know where I came up with
Dr.
the
Norton.
thing.
Dr. Mario.
I think the Norton guy that used to be the name behind it was a doctor, but that's neither here nor there. So this stuff that's going on.
A virus doctor.
Of course, potential political opponents are running with this as
Well, actually, not as much as you might think. So let's kind of break down what this is and isn't. Number one, none of the women that have come forward so far and put their names on stories have pictures or videos out there. The pictures and videos that you are seeing out there now are things that have circulated for years. Joe Biden has been routinely and thoroughly mocked on the right for a very, very long time for being overly handsy and kind of creepy. There's one of my favorites is him at some rally where he's sitting with a biker lady on his lap, and what I guess is I imagine in my headcanon is the biker lady's husband, just kind of looking on like, what the hell is going on?
Oh yeah, look at that. That's awesome.
Joe, what's going on, Joe?
I've never seen that one before. That's a good one.
But then there's a lot of gifs of him, like touching people and leaning down. The reason why the sniffing the hair and kissing the back of the head thing rang so true is that there's been a bunch of pictures of him doing stuff like that, sniffing a neck or nuzzling. What I would consider nuzzling. Is that what you guys would consider nuzzling, when you get your nose into the neck?
Yeah, that's a nuzzle.
Yeah,
sure.
no, that's a very definition of nuzzling.
Yeah. That's nuzzling 101, you might say.
So that effectively, those stories gave permission for a lot of those pictures, videos, and GIFs to kind of be out there again, and also to have here, actually, leave that on that picture of the lady with the
necklace,
sunflower necklace.
Okay.
She came out and said, my picture has been used to smear Joe Biden for a very long time. This was not awkward for me. I believe the women that said it was awkward for them, but I had slipped on the way into this ceremony where her husband was gaining some honor, and Biden was there, and Biden was trying to reassure her that everything was going great, and was like thanking her for allowing her husband to take the honor. She came out herself and said that. So this is a few things. Number one, a highlighting of a weakness of Joe Biden. Number two, it is a signal, both emotional and visual, as to why maybe an older white guy might be out of touch with our modern way of doing things. This would certainly benefit candidates like Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, and Amy Klobuchar, or maybe even more specifically Kirsten Gillibrand, who's made Me Too a larger part of her campaign.
Yeah.
Remember, she was one of the big deciding the levee breaks kind of voices that came out against Al Franken when his story of the boob grabbing picture surfaced.
Right.
And that ran him out of the Senate. So that's where we are now. Biden has come out and said he never intentionally wanted to make anybody uncomfortable. But now Axios.com is reporting that the Biden camp very much believes this is a coordinated smear, and they believe that Bernie Sanders is behind it, or the Bernie Sanders campaign is behind it.
Interesting. Because that's interesting that it's coming from Sanders and not really, because obviously they're political rivals, and if anyone has
they are right now the two front runners.
Right.
However, I am almost certain it's coming from somewhere within that 2020 primary field, but that's like trying to figure out who stabbed Caesar first. Like, everybody's gonna want to go for him, and there's plenty of motivation, and there's plenty of reason that, like, hey, look, sometimes people do things that are creepy and weird, and Joe Biden seems to be a guy who's very touchy, very handsy, very big on physical contact. We have seen him do it a little bit with guys too, so you could possibly even make the argument that he has a poor sense of physical boundaries for all, and not just for women and children. But I would not limit it just to like, oh, well, this is very obviously a Bernie Sanders thing. Although the Biden campaign seems to believe it.
Yeah. I did notice, I heard, what's her name, saying, her name, Kellyanne Conway was barking about it somewhere, and I said, oh, I don't know, maybe you want to sit that one out. I mean, I'm not saying, I mean, it's fair game, politics and war, or whatever the stupid phrase is. So I get it that it's still a target you would go after, but anybody on the Trump side complaining that somebody's handsy when we have video audio of the president talking about just how handsy he is and what it gets him and how he likes to kiss him, and there's nothing they can do about it. Like, I feel like those guys shouldn't probably jump on that one, but I've learned over the last 3 years that that's a dumb thing to think. Like, there are no lines, so I guess everyone can just cross whatever they want to cross. But But you're right. I've heard more from other. The complaining I'm hearing is from other Democratic folks or people who would consider themselves liberal about this, and not necessarily Republicans. But them infighting about this and them focusing on some of the more extreme issues seems like they're just handing Trump a better chance in 2020. Like, it's hard for me to explain. I wish they would just.
I mean, I don't. Now hold on. I don't want to deny you your anger. So please.
No. I'm not mad.
Let me know.
No.
Let me know. Let me know when you're done venting.
No, I'm not going off today at all.
I don't want to be a contrarian here.
No, I'm not going off today at all. Today is not about that. This is all reasonable.
Okay.
Coming from a reasonable place.
Have we all signed it?
Yeah.
It's notarized?
Yep. We're good.
All right. So we can go one of two ways on this. We can have that conversation about the meta kind of machinations of what the campaign is, or we can have a more personal conversation about like what are the lines now? Where is a hand on the shoulder? Okay, is when, if ever, is a hair sniff appropriate? Is it ever appropriate? Do you need to know them? Like, do you need to be like friends for over a year? Like, I guess, should you have shared at least 3 deep hugs before you sniff the hair?
I think hair sniffing feels. I mean, Brian, tell me if you think I'm crazy here, but that feels like a bridge too far to me.
It's a bridge too far. Well, it's got to be a familiarity thing, and it's also got to be a reason. You've got to say like, oh man, I'm trying a new shampoo. Tell me what you think. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it's nice. But
well, that would be an invitation.
The nose in the part. Yes,
right.
Exactly.
There's an invitation there, exactly, and that's not.
It's not like a. Do you smell? Smells like herbal essences. Oh yeah, it's you.
I've definitely sniffed somebody's hair in that context where I've smelled a good scent, but it's always to their face. Like, I don't know if I've ever
snuck up behind
the
buried the nose in there.
Yeah. I mean,
and also a kiss on the back of the head is also aggressive. And I've kissed plenty of men and women on the crown of their brow in an affectionate manner, but I don't know if I've ever kissed somebody that I have not known very, very well on the back of the head.
Well, I have. Yeah. Okay, so I have this neighbor who we don't live by anymore. It was years ago. But before we moved, we had this neighbor who I watched grow from, like, I don't know, 17 up till like 25 or 26 years old. And during that time, on multiple occasions, would witness whenever he would see his mother and father, they have a very close family, clearly. The greeting is not a hug, not a, hey, how's it going, slap on the back, your typical sort of interaction. It was a full-on lip kiss.
Yeah.
To this dad who's like 63 and the son who's like 25, and it's, oh, Dad, how's it going? And a big fat kiss right on the lips. And they, to them, that was just, they didn't act like anything was different. For me and my particular boundaries, I would find that a little bit odd. Like, I would never, ever expect any of my 3 kids to ever do that to me. But I do I expect a big hug when I see them.
Is that a grow out of it thing? Because I don't have kids, but I seem to have seen more like kids under probably like 5 or 10. They give mom or dad a kiss on the lips, and then at a certain point that
it goes away.
Out.
Well, the lips thing was never a thing for us. I don't know why. It just wasn't. There's lots of cheek kissing and lots of hugs and hand holding and all the stuff, all the parental child stuff. But
I'm glad to hear that's not a universal thing, because I've always found it weird.
Yeah.
Like at any age, a kiss on the lips, I've always just found weird. But I never knew if I was the odd one.
All right. Yeah, you're not. I don't know.
Maybe at some point you have kids and you're like, wow, these cute as a button. I'll just give them.
You just wanna, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think the big issue is like, in cases where, like where the lady says, by the way, he was really comforting me that day and I really appreciated it, and this has been used to vilify him, but this picture is not what everyone thinks it is. I think that is probably just an example. All of it's probably an example of a guy who's just really affectionate. And he probably just hasn't thought about maybe turning that off at the door a little bit. Like, keep that back. Everybody's got levels of this, right? Like if I see, I used to teach an art class on the weekends, and there were a bunch of kids, 7 to 10 or something in that class. And when I see them now, they're like 13, 14. I see them now, and they run up and they hug me, and I hug them back because we have this relationship, and it's a loving one. It's one that means something to us, and so that makes sense to me. But if one of those kids came running up and I sniffed their hair and got a big old lip kiss, or kissed him on the forehead, that you're going to a weird. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I had a coworker, a guy named Charlie, who was 60 years old when I started working with him, and it's something I think inherent in that generation. But I'd be working and he'd come up behind me while I'm working on my desk, grab my head and plant a big kiss like right on the back center of my head. And this was back when I had hair. This wasn't like, bald Mr. Clean kiss time. This was like,
because look, I know we're getting into dangerous territory here for 2019, but that's an inviting place for a good old smack.
Totally is.
Like,
yeah, I mean,
just that big beautiful dome of yours, like that's.
I'll bring lots of wet wipes for that too at
I'm just saying,
TMS Vegas. If anyone wants to give it a whole big smooch, the top of my head. But
yeah, Tom's done it.
But no, I mean this, and we never thought anything of it because he's of a certain age. He's like, this is his way of showing affection, and it was just kind of like a Charlie thing. He'd like walk into the room, hey, you handsome devil, how you doing? And it's like, I see a lot of that same stuff.
Does your hair, Joe Biden, did your hair fall out after he did it? Because maybe we've stumbled onto something.
Like we finally found the source.
Yeah.
No, and Scott, my hair didn't fall out. I started receding up here. And I just decided, let's just get rid of them.
No, he just decided that I'm just going to have Charlie kiss this all away. I'm just going to go in there and say, all right, Chuck, let's just get it over with.
Was his name Charlie?
He kissed every follicle.
Was his name Charlie? It was Charlie, you said. Was it really Charlie?
Charlie, yeah.
Oh,
we never called him Chuck. He didn't go, he didn't like that. I don't think he liked the name Chuck.
Really?
Oh, geez. Yeah, God forbid he be made uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh, that's too good. Well, yeah. So at the end of the day, like, I don't know what to think about it. I think it's creepy and weird.
I mean, there's a difference between a coworker that you've worked with for a few years who starts doing that, and it's like, yeah, whatever. I know this person really well, and someone just coming up and randomly doing that to you.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like there's a gap between those two.
Like, here's the reality. The reality is that Joe Biden does this kind of stuff. He gets handsy with people, and if we see an escalation to Joe Biden didn't sniff my hair and kiss me on the back of the head or give me a non-consensual Eskimo kiss, I've said it 4 times now.
Keep going. It's good.
The NCEK.
Yeah, and it becomes more Joe Biden grabbed my boob, Joe Biden grabbed my butt, Joe Biden did X, Y, or Z in a more sexual manner, then it's a bigger problem. But let's assume we leave it here, and maybe we get 1 or 2 more stories that are at this level or slightly below. Then the facts on the ground are he's this dude. And by the way, we've known it forever. There's a reason why there's pictures and videos of other acts that kind of go along with this. The larger question is, how does he handle it? Does he already came out and kind of gave like a non-apology. He said he never intended to make anybody feel uncomfortable. We've now seen the behind the scenes pushback that this is a coordinated effort. We have already seen the complications of folks who very much over the last few years have had fairly clear political lines, aside from Al Franken, on some of the Me Too targets, at least in the political world. Everything as you did earlier, all roads lead back to the 2016 election and Trump. But now this is something that will be a relevant issue, and it'll be a question on exactly how much his opponents want to twist the knife. Because I'll guarantee you that if any of those female candidates go out there at a rally and make some joke about nobody's sniffing my hair unless I ask them to, that's going to be a big applause line.
Right.
But I will say this, and I'm sure this will be a conversation that we'll have a lot throughout the 2020 primary season. you got to let go of the I don't like seeing these guys fight. Like they're not going to resolve the 2020 primary by a very spirited game of Risk. Like, this is what politics is. They're going to highlight each other's negatives. They're going to try to accentuate them. They're going to highlight their own positives. And maybe they'll talk about policy along the way. And then they'll publish ridiculously long proposals, none of which will actually come to fruition. This is the beauty of the primary system.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I actually do agree that it would be time to accept that fact. There's not like some unified front of all that matters is that we come together and defeat Trump regardless of our differences. Let us put them aside. That doesn't work. Like, they're going to fight with each other until they're done and one of them's picked, and then they're going to go after Trump, and then that's going to be ugly, and then whatever happens, happens. But I did notice this, and this is why I find some parts of political tactics interesting, because during Biden's time as vice president and before, I'd never heard of any of this TLC stuff, or what's the word, TMI stuff, or no,
yeah.
PDA.
No.
PDA is what I meant.
PDA.
Public displays of affection with people that may or may not be in on it.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of it, and I think part of that is because my life wasn't so focused on it. Like, you weren't hearing it every day in the news. It wasn't the kind of cycle we have now, with the kind of exposure we have now. So I just never heard about it until last week. So when I started hearing about it, I'm like, how did I miss this? And I realized there are probably a lot of us who hadn't heard about it. And so the Republicans, or whatever the ticket looks like in 2020 for them, would be dumb not to make that not an issue. And by that tone, probably.
Oh, it didn't even make it to the Republicans. Like the two women that said that told their stories were affiliated with the Democratic Party. That call is coming from inside the House. If it had been some old girlfriend of Biden, if it had been a staffer that has since left the world of politics, that would have the hallmarks of a Republican situation. But both these women, I believe, have come out and said they'd vote for Biden if it were Biden versus Trump. Like, they are true blue Democratic people who are making these claims, which in my mind, if I were to go ahead and ask Occam for his razor, it would cut right to one of these other campaigns that are competing in the primary, putting this out.
And that Lucy Flores you mentioned specifically said, I'm seeing this CBS article. She says, look, if it's Trump versus Biden, I'm voting Biden.
Yeah.
And she's the one that caused the biggest stir with the biggest, he kissed the back of my head.
Nuzzled into the, smelled her hair. She also felt self-conscious about the fact that she had been on campaigning and had not washed her hair in a while. And
sure.
Then he kissed it.
Yeah.
It was just a weird scene.
So maybe he's just leaning in because it smells like an Outback Steakhouse up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Ew.
But, yeah. He says, is that a bloomin' onion I smell? And then gave finger guns.
You guys ever smelled got up too close to somebody's
Finish that thought.
What are those called? It's like when you grow your hair out and don't ever wash it. Dreadlock. You ever gotten real close to a dreadlock before? Oh my dear Lord. Like, I'm just saying, I think dreads look cool.
No, there's a way to maintain them in a way so they don't stink. Not to say that everybody does it, because there are people with poor hygiene all over the place. But yeah, look, man, I've been to my fair share of outdoor concerts. Like,
sometimes you don't even need to get close.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. No, it's that's an issue. Yeah. I will say the person who would get the most reaction from rubbing Biden's face in this would be Kamala Harris. Because, like, I will say this: getting your hair touched in an unwanted manner is one thing for all people. It is another thing for black people, and it is a whole nother level for black women. Yeah. Like, that is the fastest way to go from 0 to 60 is to inappropriately and without permission touch a black woman's hair.
So let's take a bet right now. Do you think that during the primaries, if Biden announces he's running at any time, because there are a lot of women who are running and men, so I don't know, this doesn't have to be gender specific, but Do you think there's a big chance that he will flub it up because he's just too damn affectionate? He's going to smell somebody's hair during those things and look weird on camera, or does he look awkward trying really hard to make sure he doesn't do anything that he remotely looks like affectionate Joe Biden? Which way do you think he goes?
Oh, I am bearish on Joe Biden's campaign. So how, you could probably write a book, The 99 Ways Joe Biden's 2020 Campaign Ends, and it'll be all like different calamities that could befall him. Yeah. What you just mentioned are certainly accurate, but understand this: Joe Biden has never run for president and then just lost because he wasn't popular. He has always flamed out due to gaffes. In 1986, when was it? Was it 86? He
ran in 86? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, his first campaign for president, when he was a young up-and-comer, he got into it because of a plagiarism scandal. He ripped off word for word a speech in England.
I remember this now.
And then got popped for it, and then wound up, it became a little scandal, and he dropped out even before Iowa. He flamed out around, now, within the next 3 months would be the around the time that he would have flamed out last time. And then in 2008, obviously, he flamed out after Iowa. He started falling apart before that, but he at least made it to the caucus. Because he called Obama clean and nice, and then mentioned that you can't walk into a Dunkin' Donuts in Delaware without seeing a bunch of Indian people.
Jeez.
Really?
Yeah, look that one up. That one's both of those are on tape.
That's really good. I'm starting to think Trump's the smart one. Just say dumb shit constantly. Just constantly say it, and then if everything is dumb, then if everything is stupid and career destroying, then nothing is stupid and career destroying. Am I onto something there? Because maybe that's what we need to do.
Well, you know what? I think that there is a thing that Trump very much believes. There is a school of thought, certainly on the right, that says never apologize. That is the only rule. The only rule is never apologize. Now, you can correct your behavior. You can reaffirm the people that you care about, but the second you apologize, you are giving your enemies, you're basically drawing a circle on your body of where your enemies can most effectively stab you.
Right.
Now that is obviously running totally counter to, the Me Too or Time's Up movement that we have seen, where taking accountability for your actions and recounting them and offering an apology is a part of the process, right? And that's where some of the culture clash comes in. But
that's how you direct a third Guardians of the Galaxy movie. That's how you get back in there. Is you apologize. Yeah. Just as an example.
Well, but he had already apologized for that. So he had to apologize because people woke up and found the thing he had already apologized for.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing is that the news story is people found a thing that was readily available to find. That is one of the strangest permutations of our modern culture, is that Brian and I, my Brian, not the Brian.
Not this, not you. You can't claim this Brian.
No, this is Scott's Brian.
Yeah, Scott's Brian.
No, I only tend to text with this Brian about how bad I feel about being mean to the America's Next Top Podcaster contestants.
Yeah.
By the way, we recorded the finale yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, what a ride!
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something else, man.
That was such a fun time. Yeah.
It was great. It was really good.
If you have not listened, please catch up. If you start from the beginning, it'll only be about 300 hours of content. But
it's about, and you could just do the judging sessions and the submissions and get everything you need. So that's about, 12 hours of content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. It's like watching the Lord of the Rings extended editions over a weekend.
Exactly.
It's fine.
But no, please go check it out. This was an amazing experience, and you can hear me be mean to people.
I don't think you were mean at all. Like they said yesterday, in their words, they're like, "No, you're just honest," And I think that
You
that
guys
helped.
fit.
Well, no, but also in their words, they said that multiple people cried because
Two
of
people
things I
raised
said.
their hands that they
They
cried.
said that they cried because of things that I said. I felt
And it was
so
because
bad
they
about it.
passionate about this thing called podcasting. So that's
I don't think
Also, because I said, I mean, like, because the people that raised their hands, I said very pointed things about. Like, I know the things that they probably cried about.
Yeah,
right.
It was
including one time when I delivered a blistering condemnation with air horns, which in retrospect probably didn't need to add the sizzle.
Yeah,
that's one thing Simon Cowell never did on American Idol.
Well, I was gonna say nobody wants a Paula Abdul only judging panel. Like we need to have dissent. You need to have critical.
We need Nicole. We need. I mean, basically, you three fit, and I'm using the word role because there were parts of this that I needed you guys to be, and you were absolutely those parts. Not that it was faked or forced or anything like that. I needed Nicole to be super positive and have that marketing standpoint. I needed you, Scott, to be supportive and kind of like analytical on the technical aspects, and I needed Jerry to be an asshole. It's basically the way. No, I'm kidding, but I needed Jerry to be the frank, honest, tell it like it is kind of thing. So,
yeah, and you did.
You guys were perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I really don't. If I ever became very uncomfortable doing it, I would just have to leave because I can't do it another way. Ashley, I was talking to Ashley about this last night, and she's like, "Oh, well, I mean, like, would you want to change how you do it?" I'm like, "Oh God, no! I can't not say things. Half the things that I say, I swear, I like confirm with myself before I go on. Don't say that, and don't bring that up. And then I do because I'm a bad person.
You can't help it. Well, and then sometimes we'll say something that, like, I'll say something that's like scans over an issue that's a somewhat glaring one, and even I'll know it. I'll say it and go, I probably skipped that. But then sure enough, Jury will pipe in and go, "Oh yeah," and then now we're on to we get some real meaty stuff. This never happened though.
Things that make you go. Ah!
All right. It's so loud.
It's so good. No, but anyway. I think. Wait, where are we at right now? What's the latest that people can listen to? Is it the semifinals?
Yeah,
Brian has wandered away.
No, sorry, I was the cat was knocking stuff off my desk, so I just knocked the cat off the desk.
Rude.
They can listen to the interview podcast. Judging was the last thing that went up. So the solo interview podcast with Michael Chu and Scott Fletcher and
yeah, I was mean on that one. So if you want to hear me be mean, you can hear me be mean on that one. And then
the diary episodes are going to be going up probably today for the backers and tomorrow for the public feed. So
okay, yeah. So those are really good. That was an amazing round, and then that sets up the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which just happened, and so in 2 weeks that'll be what you get.
Yeah.
But, man, dude, that was intense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to say, man, that was a journey.
Yeah.
It was. It turned out to be a lot more than I was expecting. More work for me than I was expecting. A lot more work probably for Hammond than he was expecting.
Yeah.
But also a lot more emotion. I mean, even week one, eliminating somebody who wasn't even there to be there on the call to say, okay, cool, bye.
Yeah.
It was so difficult. Like just even the first week. So it's
it's weird. All of it was more
weirdly emotional.
I went into it not expecting that. I expected to be pretty standard, go through the motions, do our thing, get to the end, but instead everything felt like weirdly colossally big and like a big deal. Like I don't know. It was a strange journey. It was a really good one,
I mean, it was 3 months.
Yeah.
People are doing original podcasts that we're just throwing at them. Like, all right, do this and do that. And I know you're good at this. Now totally ignore those strengths and do another thing. Yeah. For 3 months straight, people were doing it. And by the way, it only gets more intense the less help you have because the everything thins out as you go along. But man, just so wild. Is there anything that you know for a fact you'll change for season 2? Is that a spoiler? Is there going to be a season 2?
There's definitely going to be season 2. We're going to start getting applicants at the latter part of this month. So keep an eye out for Twitter and stuff like that. And then we'll start recording probably in late summer. Different things for obviously different challenges, because I don't want anybody coming into this thinking, all right, well, I'm going to do a movie podcast. I'm going to do a food podcast. We're gonna go outside of the Frog Pants world for guests and hosts or guest coaches. No changes to what Tom does, what you guys do. There might be some editing things we talked about last night that I think are really good. So there might be some editing changes that we make, but you're
gonna bring in a former you should bring in somebody like, who was the guy that came into American Idol that I always thought, what is he even doing here? Again, Steven Tyler.
Ryan Dunkelman?
You should No, you should bring like a Steven Tyler type in. I don't know who that would be.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Ellen DeGeneres or Steven Tyler, or yeah.
Did Ellen do it for a bit?
She was I think for a whole season she was a
I don't remember that at all. I didn't really watch it hardcore.
No, Nicki Minaj was on for a season.
Oh, sweet.
At least she's a musician, though. I mean, Ellen DeGeneres, I don't think of as like a musician coach. But,
no, she's a talk show lady now and a comedian.
Talk show lady. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I think fine grained stuff will probably change, but the overall, the way the show is done and produced and edited and stuff like that, the big picture of it would be is not gonna be changed for season 2.
Yeah, I would correct me if I'm wrong here, but I would say the biggest thing that you found very, very quickly was like, oh my God, we have so much raw audio.
Yes, right.
Because I've watched friends of mine make reality shows, like produce and make reality shows, and this had a comparable amount of like hours of things to edit through, and you guys had one person in Hammond like organizing everything, and I was just like halfway through I even sent you guys an email and I'm like, you guys need to reorganize how you're gathering at least the stuff that you know is going to make air. If there's a moment in all this raw audio that everyone's like, oh my God, you have to get this one moment where we decided this was that, then pick it out, like find it and pick it out. But this key. Like we're gonna listen to all 5 hours per team as they tediously go through a bunch of stuff. Like, that's insane. You guys are crazy.
No, that was absolutely key. The suggestion of like having the teams as they're recording their conversations about what to do, having them kind of timestamp some stuff to make sure it gets pulled out for the show. The problem, unfortunately, was that it was 2 weeks before teams went solo. So
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is normally, like, I could name the jobs that didn't exist for you guys.
Right.
Like, well, there's a production assistant that should be there, that should be noting what stuff. Then there's an entirely other phase. Like, spoiler alert for reality television. When they start talking about I can't believe she just said that when they're in the interview, that's long after everything's happened.
Oh yeah, and they're supposed to talk
recording the
about
interview,
like, it's first
and
person.
They're talking, as if it's happening right now.
Right, right.
Like, but that way,
I can't believe she said that.
But that way, it's already happened. They already know what's going on, and now they're recounting it. So theoretically, after the episode is created, after the episode is judged, after somebody is eliminated, now you know what questions to ask of like, hey, are you sure? Did you agree with that position? What would you have done differently?
Is that your idea for the podcast, or did somebody else say something different? Or
and that way you can put it in to the moments that they are talking about.
Yeah.
The problem with that, and we tried that for a couple episodes, the problem with that is with video, it's really easy to see that the person talking is in a different place, in a in their usual place that they do their diary stuff. With audio, they sound the same whether they're doing that Discord conversation or doing an interview with me and him. And so you got to have some way of like differentiating. We thought about doing like echoey stuff when they're recounting the thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like it's,
I don't know. And there's a lot of like production meeting conversations that we can kind of have about the granular elements of it. But I do think that is a challenge, but it's certainly not an insurmountable one in terms of like just making, like, I can't say enough in terms of the raw energy of this competition. And it's so great to see Gidget and Alex that are here. It was so much more intense than I thought, and so much more intense than anything I've done that hasn't been like a personal milestone or success or live event or something like that. Like just as like a thing that I showed up for every week. Oh my God. Like there was a reason why like I felt like intense regret like after everything, because I was just like we didn't waste all the drama before the finale. Spoiler alert. There's a conflict in the final episode. And I was like, oh my God, I can't, like, this was a mistake. Who am I? Like, why am I like, everyone's like working so hard. Like, why do I need to be this, avenging angel to like, take a righteous stand on this? Like, calm down. But I was so wrapped up in it.
It all worked out. By the way, Gidget's busy in the chat room right now trying to start a sex podcast about orgies.
I know, exactly. That will be season 2, and we'll bring on Gidget as a guest coach.
Yeah, let's get in there and tell us.
Hold on. Wait, is he a sex podcast?
She's in the chat room right now discussing the idea of having a sex podcast, and she's asking people, how many people does it take to call it an orgy? Is it more than 3? Is it 5?
Has to be more than 3 because 3 is a threesome.
Right. Oh, right. It would have. So 4 is probably your answer.
Probably 4.
But there's your show. So get on that, Gidget, and get that Australian accent. Take it down an octave, and just hey. Boy.
Listen, it worked for Sex with Emily, isn't she? She's got like an Amazon Prime thing now, or a Netflix show, or something like that. Like Sex with Emily, she was. People remember Funny Hat Guy, and Wrestler Dude.
Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sex with Emily was the other one on that stage with Jericho giving us crap.
She was the best because she's the one that said. She thought she was kind of off mic, and she goes, he's coming up here again.
It's the same guy
guy up here. And she's kind of whispering it off to the corner while Jericho's going, yeah, all right. Like, totally like contrast to that guy. But anyway, well, this has all been well and good. We've solved our Biden issues and discussed podcastery at large.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that.
Pretty good. Justin, anything this week that you should be telling people about so they know where to go and see it?
Hey, here's a fun thing. I've got an Instagram.
What?
Wow. That's a website.
Weird.
Instagram.com/JustinRYoung. I've been spending more time there, and I've been doing these little minute explainer videos on political stuff. So if you want a way to keep in the know, and go ahead and follow me on my IG, Justin R. Young on Instagram.
That's a great idea. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later. There he goes.
See you, buddy.
There he goes.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him in Vegas. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
He'll drink.
Oh, he'll drink. He'll be responsible for that bar tab.
Oh yeah. No, we need him. Is what we need.
Yeah.
All right, we have gone very
I'll
long.
help with it too. Don't worry.
Brian. Brian will do his part. I was going to do an email, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow because we're kind of over time. But I want to thank everybody for listening today. Frogpants.com/TMS is how you can find all our stuff, including a link to our support page at Patreon.com/TMS. It's a new month. Consider jumping on there. Get one of our cool levels. Get cool stuff in the mail. Rad digital rewards. All sorts of good stuff over at Patreon.com/TMS. There's lots of reasons to do it, and only one reason not to. And I don't know what that one is, so you only have reasons to do it.
Not to.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. Unless you were living in a cardboard box somewhere.
Well,
then I'll send them $1. But if you can, that'd be great. That's how we pay the bills. So check it out. Patreon.com/TMS. That'll do it for today. Brian, we should leave a song.
Here we go, and it's a short request, so perfect. Justin from Michigan wrote in and said, "This is just a damn good cover. I can see this even working for those who don't care for bluegrass or folk or Americana. This is part of the Pickin' On series, Bluegrass Volume 2 for Green Day, which came out in 2010. I don't know if this is Cornbread Red or Iron Horse. I think it's Iron Horse based on the vocalist. Pretty sure.
All right.
But this is 21 Guns, requested by Justin from Michigan. This one's going out to you, man.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Wednesday. Be here. Bye. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.